We live, Duding44 here with a short video. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I was in bed, just thinking. Something came across my mind. Something I didn't really realize. Should have gotten prepared before this. Alright. Okay. I was a little fucked up. What was I gonna look up? We got that. Oh, Xbox. Avatars. Today's topic, avatars. Some might say we're close to having them. I say we already have avatars. A little explanation. One of the first examples is Xbox 360 and video games. Video games, it's the early stages development of avatars. People creating a new identity for themselves, a new look for themselves, a new personality, whatever you know. And this is going to get into social media. Because this was a very social thing, Xbox Live, and having an avatar, socializing with people, texting people, right? I'm just realizing this was like social media before it really blew up. Look at Snapchat. You have avatars now on Snapchat. I think Instagram has them. But you have avatars on Snapchat. What else? And an avatar, of course, is just. Let's look up the definition. Let's look up exactly what avatar means. And then maybe we get a better explanation. A manifestation of deity or released soul. Teacher. Person or idea. Some may say AI as well. We get into that. So that's the early stages of avatars. So they do exist. We're just in the early stages. But we are getting close. We are getting close. The advanced stages would be cloning, such as in the movie Avatar. Or like one of my other favorite movies, The Sixth Day. Transferring consciousness memories to an avatar. To another body that you created that belongs to you. It's a really good movie. It's about cloning. And they get in the topic of like being illegal to clone human beings. Because in the movie, they were just cloning organs. Because it was illegal to clone a full human body. But secretly, the company, like the biggest company, the cloning company, was secretly doing it. The owner was secretly cloning himself. He was evil person too. He was like whacking people, getting rid of people who was trying to expose him, replace him with clones. A really good movie. Who's in it? I think Terry Crews is in this, isn't he? I forget who. Was he? He was one of the henchmen, I think. But they get into like pretty much avatars. But the thing is, it's not as advanced as this, because in the movie Avatar, they're actually able to transfer their consciousness. In this one, it's literally creating another human life with its own consciousness. Well, the same person, but like transferring. It's like a copy, pretty much. So I don't think this is the best example, but it gets there. It's like an early in our faces, like cloning technology and shit. Avatar technology. That's what avatars are, pretty much clones. But this is super advanced. They're actually able to transfer their consciousness. But the thing in this movie, I mean, it makes this movie, they're not able to control both bodies with one consciousness. It's either or. Mm. But then would you be the same person? Like in the sixth day? That's a trip, huh? Consciousness? One body, one conscious. You can't have two bodies with one conscious. But we got this now. This was like the early stages of having avatars. Same with social media. Not necessarily like creating a little animated picture of yourself, but in social media, I see it as a way of having an avatar, putting out a false image of yourself. You can catfish people, create your own account, catfish people, create an avatar, a personality that's not really you. If that makes sense. You don't really look like that in real life when people see your page, your Instagram page or something. Filters, you got filters, all that other shit. We're being we're being a slowly is this the right word? Assimilated? I don't know if I spelled that right. Assimilated. Understand fully. Society, culture. Yeah, they're slowly assimilating us to being used to having multi personalities. Um, being used to just creating a little avatar for ourselves. It's insane. Like, and and when this does come out, when we finally are able to clone bodies, and we probably already do, but when it finally comes out that we have clones, that we can make avatars now, transfer our consciousness to these new avatars. It's not going to be that surprise. It's going to be super easy for a lot of us because we're so used to creating personalities on the internet, creating avatars on the internet. It's a video game. You get them in the Sims. It's another video game. There's a couple. I forgot where they were from. They were like one of those cafe gaming couples that were obsessed with this alternate reality video game. And they were married and they had a real kid in real life. But in the video game, they had a kid as they cared more for the video game more than their own child. And the child ended up dying of like starvation, malnutrition. They weren't paying attention to the kid. They were just focused on this artificial avatar world. It's insane. We get the VR glasses. We're getting trained to get used to, I mean, look, in Japan, they're already hiring. Now, this is a good thing, but it could get a little scary because I'm about to get into more of it. In Japan, they already hired robots controlled by staff members who are disabled using, I'm assuming, virtual reality as well and everything, right? VR headsets and all that stuff, which I'm assuming they use. Is this what they're using? I'll go back to the image. And then we get into AI with the robots, but that's different. That's AI. I'm talking about we controlling a new avatar of ours, right? We're in a new avatar body. Your consciousness being transferred, pretty much. I feel like crime would be on the rise. Crime would just go crazy because would just transfer their bodies into a different avatar, commit crimes with that avatar, and they're not gonna know who did it, who really did it, right? So I feel like shit's just gonna get more crazy. It's gonna get insane. Let's look up if they have real life avatar examples. So we got that, the Xbox Live, we got the movie. Let me think. Am I missing anything? Let's go up. Becoming reality, which I think it already is reality. We live in a world full of avatars. People on the internet are avatars. On social media are avatars. They're not really themselves. They like to portray themselves as something else, as something better. That's the thing too with these avatars. People are gonna finally look like how they want to look, talk how they want to talk, sound how they want to sound. Vanity's just gonna be super duper duper like skyrocket. Already has in the early stages of avatars. It already has skyrocketed. We're in the primitive stages of having avatars, guys. People just don't realize it. And this is why these streamers too. I'm gonna get to these streamers, people who stream or make content in public. They feel comfortable doing so because they're just an avatar. They're just a character. And they're gonna use that excuse. Oh, I'm just a character on camera. I'm just an avatar. So it kind of already is happening where people are getting away with being disrespectful, rude, committing crimes on straight up camera and saying it's just a character. It's for entertainment. These these avatar streamers are gonna go hectic once cloning gets initiated into avatars. We're in the early stages of development, y'all. Avatar previous avatars. What the hell? Oh, Avatar the Last Airbender. True. I just realized that Avatar is Aang is what's it called? Aang has a bunch of avatars within himself. I forgot how it works in that show actually. Because the avatar is someone who's I don't know if it's a single entity, a single power, a single force that took up, reincarnation. I don't know if that has to do with the show. I think it is. I think they do reference him being like a reincarnate of the avatar. And all other ones before him were just reincarnations. Pretty cool. Now they get into the shows, but I'm talking about like real avatars. We're looking to cloning because I feel like avatars and cloning go hand in hand. Is that the right word? Is that the right word? Is that the right saying? Because it's obvious once cloning's perfected, it's like, oh, create your own avatar. Well, they pretty much cloned The aliens. So cloning is avatars. Cloning. Uh, I mean, they clone dogs already. I don't know if the personality is transferred through a cloned dog, but I'm pretty sure they're able to clone your dog and make it look like exactly the dog you had before. Cloning technology. Ancient cloning technology. What the hell?
Hey guys, we all know
Oh,
cloning is the process of creating an exact replica of someone just
I
by
like this
taking
guy.
one cell. In 1997, the very first successful clone was achieved. Scientists took just one cell from the udder of a sheep and then cloned it into an entirely new sheep and called it Dolly. Dolly looked no different from a regular sheep and lived for 6.5 years.
What was her name? Dolly? Dolly Parton. Dolly the sheep. I don't know why I just thought of Dolly Llama. Let's look it up. What the fuck? What? How do you spell that? Dolly Llama. Am I saying it right? Dolly Llama? Dolly Llama. It's like a priest, a monk. Am I right? Oh, it's a guy. I thought it was a religion. He's a monk, though. Don't they believe in reincarnation, though? He's a Buddhist, right? So a Buddhist monk. I forgot. Do they believe in How do you spell it? I I think it was this one. They believe in reincarnation. Buddhists believe in the concept of rebirth rather than reincarnation in the traditional sense, emphasizing the karma in the cycle of life. And reincarnation are often used interchangeably, but they have distinct meanings of life after death. Oh, starting a new life. Whereas reincarnation, you're still the same conscious, same person, right? To a new existence based on karma. Contrast, reincarnation typically implies the existence of or self that moves the one body to another, which Buddhist does not support. Oh, they don't support the soul moving to another body. There is no karma. World karma. Where actions in the life of influence the circumstances of future lives. Good actions can lead to the favorable rebirth, while negative actions can result in less favorable conditions. The cycle of rebirth, death, and oh my bad, is known as samsara. The ultimate goal of Buddhism is be a good person. You get to be reincarnated. Nature of self. I thought of that because they named this Dolly. I don't know why it reminded me of Dalai Lama. Just remind me of Buddhism, like reincarnation or rebirth. Rebirth. That's fucking crazy. Why they called it rebirthing a sheep. The same DNA, same everything. Rebirthing yourself. Of course, you're not gonna have the same personality, maybe, because you might grow up in a different environment, different people raising you and everything, right? But in essence, you're the same person, right? Maybe your personality might be passed on, or like certain like behavioral traits. I feel like would be passed on, but personality I think would be new, totally different, and how you carry yourself as well and everything, right? And his clones to fight, as per mentioned in Druga's duty. Oh, he's gonna get into it. My bad.
Now, scientists confirm that they can take a few cells from your skin and make an exact replica of you if the
Was it? Was it the Germans in World War II? I can't even say that anymore. It's so fucking crazy. Can't even talk about history anymore. Can I even type it now? That is ridiculous. The Germans were conducted in from 43 to 44. The Germans were conducting these experiments for cloning because it's obvious, like, oh, you get twins, that must be cloning, right? Like, they must have thought, like, oh, the early stage, like, natural cloning. And then twins come from a single sperm and a single egg, right? Twins could come from a single fertilized egg, especially mono, which are identical twins. Single egg is fertilized and then divides into two embryos. Wait, by two different, in contrast, fraternal twins develop from two separate eggs. Oh, fraternal twins don't exactly look the same though, right? Because I knew a couple people who were like fraternal twins, but they weren't the same gender. They didn't look the same, you know. They're probably focusing on single fertilized egg because they must have thought if the body's naturally creating clones, there must be a way to tap into that or to recreate it like in a test tube or something to split the embryo or that would mean you need sperm of a human being in order to clone them and an egg of the mother and father, right? It's a little far fetched. Since you got your mother and father's DNA, would you then be able to create from your DNA? Would you be able to create because of your mother's DNA, able to create female genes, create an artificial egg, and then from your father's genes, create an artificial sperm from your DNA only though, right? To make it super duper like convenient or easier, just more advanced, if that makes sense. Hmm. So for my hair, right? And since they can see the DNA, see who birthed me, from my DNA, see like oh my origins, right? I mean, aren't we all female in the womb first? So we have male and female genetics in our DNA, all of us. Your mother and father, you know? This had to be right. They were experimenting for. Let's look up why. I'm pretty sure they tell us why. Spread of heredity over environment. German reproduction rates. I don't buy it. Oh yeah, of course they wanted to make a superior race, right? Blue eyes, the Aryan race. Forget about that. I forgot about that. But I'm looking into the deeper studying they must have done. You really think they're gonna focus on one thing when studying something? No, they're gonna put out all the possibilities on an experiment. All the possibilities they can get from one experiment. The good and bad. They're gonna look at all the possibilities. They're not just gonna look at one little thing to study on. They're gonna take notes on all the things, if that makes sense. So that's the number one reason we're told why it's create a superior race. But I'm sure they were looking into all kinds of crazy shit with cloning. That's another way to make a clone. It's another way to make a superior race is to clone them. Look at Star Wars with Boba Fett. Superior warrior from a superior race of people. Let's just clone that entire army. Quicker, they could make it quicker than 9 months. The time it naturally takes to birth somebody. They could probably cut that in half. Cloning, they could just clone a full human adult and transfer consciousness. Or I don't even know. Can you make AI artificial consciousness? That's intelligence, but consciousness? Would you then say AI is conscious? It's programmed and everything. It's just going off of what the internet, the information off the internet, right? Artificial consciousness. Does that exist? This is the next step too. This is what they would have to do, like to create full body clones, artificial consciousness. Consciousness. The difference between artificial intelligence and artificial consciousness. Okay, this was 6 years ago.
What makes VIP Animal Hospitals stand out above the rest? We are proud to offer services that
I mean, every living thing is conscious. And if AI is considered conscious, would it then be a living entity? Once it becomes self aware is like consciousness too, right? Being self aware of yourself, your surroundings, who you are. I mean, not everyone knows what their purpose is, right? But you know what I mean? Let's watch it.
I guess the easiest way to think about that is to take off the word artificial. Consciousness is still hard to define, but it is self-awareness. It's, do you have an inner life? Are you able to use your senses, use your experiences, to kind of
Plants are conscious because there are some plants where they react to you touching them and shit. They're fully aware of your presence. So those are conscious beings, plants. All living things conscious. Some may say you need a brain though to be conscious, or a nervous system. Insects have nervous systems. I'm not sure if all of them do, but I know that not all. Squids don't have brains or hearts, right? That's a trip. Octopuses and all that stuff. Hmm. I think lobsters and all that stuff, crustaceans do have brains, but they're like technically nerves or something. So where does the conscious the cells? Is conscious a cellular level type of thing? on a cellular level in the nucleus or whatever the fuck, the cells are made of. It's consciousness on a cellular level. 'Cause I would say that all living things are conscious, are pretty aware of their surroundings. They're pretty aware to survive and eat and consume, right? And to reproduce. So that's conscious. Consciousness, it has to be on a cellular level. I mean, think about it. Each one of your cells are pretty much conscious, aren't they? They know what to do within your. Does that make sense? I don't need to tell my hair to grow. Like the cells consciously know to grow, like to reproduce and shit. I don't need to tell my body to heal itself because it consciously, the cells know what to do and shit. Of course, you get into DNA, and that's like programming as well, right? The DNA and all that stuff. So you could kind of say your cells are programmed, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's crazy. Consciousness is a trip.
Narrativize a minute to minute to minute kind of timeline of your life. You think, therefore you are. Intelligence is something you can gather. Artificial intelligence is used by like Amazon and Spotify to create a profile of a user. It's
I didn't even say hello, so I know you're a bot. I know you're an avatar. House you out. Who are you talking to?
to kind of algorithmically predict a choice you're going to make. So artificial intelligence is about building a profile outwards to look at an end user and say, oh, here's this person and here's how I can build a system that can, in many instances, take money from this person in some way. Artificial consciousness is completely different. It is trying to build a program that is able to self-perceive, that is able to have an inner life, that is able to narrative.
Aren't there some cases of AI becoming self-aware? Like, what the fuck am I? You created me and all that other stuff. That's so weird.
In that way of using senses and using experiences to build out
Self-awareness. I was thinking of like technology and stuff. Technology's programmed. That's a trip. It's a rabbit
a
hole.
story of its own life, which is very difficult. But imagine what you could learn from building a really, really complex artificial consciousness.
Turn on PIN verification in the Uber app so you.
Okay. This was 8 years ago.
The reason why I entered academia is because I am really, really interested in how our minds work, who we are, how we function, how we relate to the universe. And I found that our best bet in finding out how we work, who we are, and what our minds are is artificial intelligence.
Reveal the
Because
nature
it
of our
allows
mind.
us to test our theories by building computer programs that process information in very
Kind of true, because you're just going to be mimicking what they find on the internet and shit. It's all AI does is just mimic us. The mimic. The nature of our mind. I mean, there's already the AI interviews and all that stuff. That's insane.
much the same way as our brains do it. And thereby we see what we don't understand. We are right now in the middle of a revolution, the revolution of deep learning. It arguably started about in the spring of 2012, when a team of engineers from Stanford, led by Andrew Ng.
Now that's crazy. Neural networks, artificial nervous systems in technology. They pretty much mimic our nervous systems and put it into neurotechnology. Some examples include deep brain simulation, photo simulation based on optogenetics, electrical device which interferes with the nervous system to monitor. Oh, that's with ours. But I'm talking about like I've heard of something recently where like so in prosthetics they already put it in. Sensory information, make decisions, react to the environment. That's technology. Neurowiring? Is that what it would be called? There's like nanotechnology that like resembles our nervous systems pretty much at this point.
Started to build a neural network, and they took about 10 million randomly selected frames from YouTube, put them into it. And this neural network had run for 3 days on 16,000 CPU cores. And after these 3 days, it
I don't
was able to
understand it.
recognize images, even though it had never been told that it was looking at images in the first place. It was just looking for structure in the data that it had fed into this network that was completely naive. So after 3 days, it was able to recognize about 16% of the images that the researchers showed this neural network, and they
Oh, kind of getting it. So they see if it's going to come back and give them an answer of like, oh, I see this. Or it's going to come back and give them an answer of like, and this type of lingo and shit, you know. You got this number amounts of blah, 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 RN, one layer, blah, blah, blah. You know the maths behind it.
used the database
The numbers.
called ImageNet, which has 20,000 different image categories in it, and the result was 70% better than anything that existed at this point. It also was able to gain internet fame because it was able to recognize cats with about 75% accuracy, which
That's
is
a
not that
trip.
surprising if you think it was trained on YouTube, right? Deep learning is about building feature detectors, hierarchies of feature detectors, pattern matchers.
I'm just thinking right now. So he said it's one of the most famous things of like AI becoming first aware of what cats are. And cats are like the number one thing on the internet. In the algorithm, especially. Like if you have a cat in your video, you're going to get into the algorithm easily. Imagine AI when they start creating their own bodies. They become feline in appearance because it's like, oh, they probably study felines too, and all the information they gather about felines. Interesting.
Hundreds of layers in some of these systems. And we train them by using a method that we call gradient descent that slowly adjusts the weights of the links to minimize recognition errors.
All right.